Hello, I'm Dr. Narayan Singh. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist in the state of Washington. I'm also the owner and governor of the EFT Institute of the Pacific Northwest. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about how emotion-focused therapy considers a certain kind of anger. One thing I find really valuable about this topic is to differentiate between different kinds of anger. And if you stay tuned for more of the videos, you'll learn more about this, or if you attend an EFT training, whether through my own institute or another institute, then you can learn more about anger and applying this with your clients. So in this video, I'm going to talk about a healthy version of anger, one that in emotion-focused therapy is called healthy boundary setting or assertive anger. So why this is healthy is because it's in response to a boundary violation, and the anger helps us to be able to restore that boundary. And this is very situation specific, but that's the general gist of it. So you might think of an example of if a family of bears are sleeping in a cave, hibernating for winter, and then a pesky wolf comes in and wants to eat one of the baby bears. Well, I should hope that Mama Bear or Papa Bear gets really angry and roars and scares off that wolf to then reestablish the boundary of the cave so that everyone's safe and that the threat is gone. And then when they know that the wolf is way long gone, Mama Bear or Papa Bear doesn't need that anger anymore, and they can return to sleeping or do whatever it is that a family of bears does. And I want to actually show you a couple specific examples. One is from a popular movie, and another is from a popular TV show. So let's dive into the first example. I'll admit this is a bit of an extreme example, but I really love this one because of how much it epitomizes a variety of elements of what healthy, assertive, boundary-setting anger can look and kind of feel like. So this first clip is from the movie The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Rings. And as I say that, you might even already know what scene I'm thinking of. It's a very famous scene. And so this is a scene where Gandalf and the Fellowship are running away from a fire demon. And let's watch.
You cannot pass!
So he's setting a boundary. You cannot pass. You notice he's not criticizing this fire
I
demon.
am the servant of the secret fire, wielder of the flame of Arnor. The dark fire will not avail you, flame of Udun!
Okay, so it's not listening to his boundary.
Back to the shadow.
Saying get away. But he doesn't listen.
You shall not pass!
Beautiful. There it is. Look at his face. He's owning it. Full embodiment. And then Gandalf looks exhausted. So I love that clip so much because it's a full congruent expression of this boundary-setting anger. You notice Gandalf isn't sitting there criticizing the fire demon and complaining about the fire demon, talking about all the problems that the fire demon is having, pointing out things. He's saying, like, you shall not pass, do not come further, and how his whole body and his slamming his staff into the ground really affirms that and says, I will not let you pass to harm me and the rest of my company. And then what I find really interesting and really useful for you to know is how when he felt his boundary was restored, there was that moment of Gandalf showing he's feeling exhausted. That's one sign that I take that this was a healthy expression of anger, because once he felt his boundary restored, he no longer needed the anger. Now that's key. If a client might find themselves really struggling and hanging on to an anger, having a struggle to let it go, maybe it's not quite a full expression of the healthy boundary setting anger that they really need. It could mean something else. So that's why I love this clip and how he congruently asserts it, congruently embodies it. So it's very clear verbally and non-verbally. So that's a very productive emotion, and in that moment, it seemed to be effective. So now we're going to turn to another clip, and this is from the television show called Mad Men. I never watched this show, but I found this clip and I really liked it. And I find it's a nice, maybe more realistic example to situations we might encounter in case you're not, or your clients aren't facing any fire demons recently. In this scene, it's between the characters Peggy and I believe his name is Don Draper. Let's take a look.
I have to talk about something kind of serious.
Okay.
I can't put a girl on Jaguar.
So that is assertive, saying this is important.
These car guys, I just can't. But you know...
It's not that.
So she's not
Is this
feeling
about Joan
understood.
being my partner?
What?
The circumstances... She's been with us 13 years.
Okay, she's nervous, appropriately. So I'm going to pause there because I'm saying she's nervous appropriately because this nervousness fits this situation. I sense she knows he's not understanding, and she's going to have to be more clear and direct with her request and her assertion, and that this is bringing up nervousness. And from what I understand, Dom Draper is a powerful man who appears very confident. And so her nervousness is appropriately reflecting the situation, that this is going to be a hard thing to assert herself to him, and it might be very displeasing to him. And she's maybe unsure of how he's going to react. So I would say this nervousness is productive in the sense that she is facing it. If she was to follow it, it would likely be unproductive, because it might lead her to avoid stating what she really wants and needs, or maybe even leave the situation, which wouldn't help her much in meeting her needs. So instead, she's productively dealing with this feeling by facing it. So let's keep watching.
I want you to know that the day you saw something in
Still
me,
nervous.
my whole life changed.
And she's paying respect to the relationship.
And since then, it's been my privilege to not only be at your side, but to be treated like a protege.
She's expressing appreciation.
And for you to be my mentor.
All productive, because she's still facing her anxiety.
But
But I think I've reached a point where it's time for me to have a new experience.
She seems more nervous, more scared.
really,
I'm giving my notice.
There's the assertion.
I've accepted another offer.
Still nervous, I think.
are you done?
I'm giving the customary 2 weeks. My last day will be the 3rd. And don't think...
It's been crazy around here, and I know I've been
He's
taking you for granted. And
dismissing
frankly,
her.
I'm impressed.
Her request isn't
Finally
quite getting
picked the right
through.
moment to ask for a raise.
It's time for me to move on.
Beautiful. There it is. I love that. I noticed that little shift. It could be pretty subtle, so if you need to watch it again, go ahead and rewind and watch again. But how initially she was really nervous and afraid. Her point and her need and her request wasn't getting through. And then she kind of settled into herself and her resolve. I see this as a version of anger in the sense that she connected with what she really wants and needs with resolution to it and delivered it in kind of that embodied, solid way. And this is a version of anger. She didn't have to get all rah-rah or slam a staff into the ground, but she did at least embody it and say, communicate, this is my boundary, I'm moving on. And she's also communicating, there's nothing, I have made up my mind and there's nothing you can do to change my mind. So that is a very assertive expression of what she needs and wants and is going to do, regardless of what he wants and is going to put up a fight against. So these were 2 examples of healthy anger. In another video, I'll show you examples of unhealthy and unproductive emotion. So if you liked what you heard today, please feel free to like and subscribe to this channel. I'll be releasing videos pretty frequently. If you want to learn more about emotion-focused therapy, feel free to check out one of the books that are listed on my webpage, eftpnw.com. Check out the resources and trainings available that are posted on isef.org. Or you can come to a training that's upcoming at my institute, eftpnw.com/trainings. And I hope you appreciated this video and learning about healthy boundary-setting anger, and I look forward to hearing about what you have to think. Feel free to write in the comments below.